Welcome back to the channel, Zenless Zone Zero Proxies. It's your boy Josh, and today we're going to be talking about the 1.2 Zenless Zone Zero special program. Now, I'm not going to waste any of your guys' time. We're going to go straight into it. I have about 5 or 6 things that I wanted to talk about, and we're going to keep it condensed so that you guys get the best information in the shortest amount of time, because why watch me if you guys are just going to get the same information from the special program, right? So let's actually give you the best information. Let's put it into context. Let's break it down for you guys. Let's start off with the 2 new characters of version 1.2, Burnice White and Caesar King. Oh, excuse me, before we actually start, this is Josh from the future. And yeah, I know I'm wearing the same thing, but this is Josh from the future. And if you guys like and comment down below, for a lucky subscriber, we're going to be giving you away an internet pass in the next video. And our next video is going to come out the 17th. We're going to announce the winner in that particular video. So make sure that you guys like and comment down below, and then we'll get your guys' information once you check out that video to see who wins. And back to the video. All right, now let's first talk about the first half patch character that is going to be Caesar King. They are coming to us as our very first defensive physical unit. Obviously, they are aligned with the Sons of Caledon, as they are the very, I believe they're supposedly the leader of their particular biker gang faction. And Caesar King is, again, yes, the first premium defensive unit. That comes with a lot of weights on her shoulders, but she carries it incredibly well as the first, or I would say first premium luxury unit. Now, what do I mean by premium luxury unit? If you take a look at games like Genshin Impact, characters like Zhongli, and she mimics the type of archetype that Zhongli is almost to a T, in which she's able to debuff characters, buff your other characters, with resonance and whatnot, as well as provide the biggest shield that you probably don't even need yourself. I'll be honest, you genuinely don't need the shield. If you build her correctly, and you don't even have to try that hard to build her correctly, because her shield scales off of impact. Base impact at that, not even your percentage impact, your base impact. The shield is just way too good. You don't need the shield, but the shield is way too good to take damage. The anti-interruption levels coming from the shield actually are incredibly strong. And if you saw here, she was just getting absolutely pummeled with the Aegis shield on, and she just did not move a muscle, right? The anti-interruption level from that is incredible, meaning that characters like Jane Doe, who suffer from having to be up close and up front, right, without any levels of anti-interruption, the shield is going to provide that for you. And in particular, let's say one of the older characters, not really that old, but one of the first release characters, Juyen. Juyen is incredible with the shield of Aegis, and the 6 shot shells that Juyen has to outpour. When you're going up against multiple enemies, especially in Shiyu defense, you're very rarely going to be able to find great windows if you have more than just one enemy for the shot shells, just because enemies are quite smart in that they will actually stagger attacks. So this shield provides that luxury of being able to ignore that mechanic completely and just being able to attack. I believe out the box, she's just that good. However, here's a pitfall of her that I want to plant in you guys right now. And it's not necessarily a completely bad thing. However, when it comes to Caesar King, in order for you to actually use her more as a utility character in particular, because she has incredible stun daze multipliers, she has great impact because she scales with impact, you would assume that she'd be a great stun character. However, that's just not necessarily the case unless you have her weapon. You're going to be spending at least 10% more time on field with Caesar King. I've kind of tested it out, maybe potentially even more at lower investments, just because Caesar King, again, isn't a pure stun character. She isn't a pure stun character. That means you will have to pair a stun character with her. So let's say a Juyen, Qingyi, and Caesar King, and then you'll be fine in that regard. As far as Caesar King's value, amazing, I think is going to be A+ tier. Is it S tier? Honestly, it's probably S tier at this point. The luxuries that she affords you is just incredible. Now, let's get to a character that I'm a little bit more worried about. I'll talk about why. Burnice White. She's coming to us as our very first fire limited anomaly character. Now, I'm very happy that we're not really double dipping anymore, just like Qingyi was, right? Qingyi was definitely a double dip character into characters like Ambit be. Bernice is going to be our very first fire anomaly character and is actually going to be working directly with the attribute anomaly that is burn. Haha, Burnice. So for the folks at home who don't know about attribute anomaly, there are two categories of attribute anomaly. There is dot and there's crit. Crit is basically where you can actually crit, have a crit chance on your damage. That is your physical, which is assault, and ice, which leads to freeze and shatter. Your dot, or your damage over time, will be able to inflict the attribute anomaly, not the attribute anomaly, will be able to inflict the particular elemental damage over time. This helps for incredible anomaly buildup, in particular with characters like Grace. Grace is one of the premier anomaly characters because she is shock oriented. And so too does Bernice benefit from the dot in the form of fire damage. So with her core passive and her EX skill, she's able to toss out the flamethrowers, burn the enemies, building up huge anomaly, as well as with the core passive in conjunction with that EX, you can actually apply more fire off field, which allows you to actually use other characters in the meantime to be able to either set up in order to follow up damage, be able to build up sun and days multipliers. This is going to be incredibly useful, especially since not a lot of characters as of this point have a lot of off-field applications and or damage contribution potential. So Bernice is going to be really great in that regard. However, one small pitfall that I'm finding out with her, and that's not really a pitfall as per se, is that her drive disc, I'm not terribly sure how it's going to work in conjunction with her kit, and let's take a look at it right now. Here we are at the all-new drive disc series, the Chaos Jazz and the Proto-Punk. Let's firstly talk about the easy layup. Caesar King's Proto-Punk defensive set. Well, it's not a really defense set, but it's her defensive set, and it provides a 15 increase to your shield effect, which basically is just a huge amount. So let's say you have 3,000 shield for Caesar King, which is on average you should be getting 3,000 shield if you calculate it correctly. Then you are literally getting 3,450 shield. Incredible. It's giving you almost a 500 extra HP to your character. That's like an extra hit or two from a lot of characters, and especially bosses. That's incredible. The shield effect and that 2-piece is very valuable, actually, when all things is said and done. Then you get to the 4-piece set, which is a 50% damage increase once you defense or evasive assist, lasting for 10 seconds. You could definitely do this very easily against your boss enemies, elite enemies. This is incredibly easy. A nice 15% damage increase. Very good. Then let's get to Bernice's supposed set, the Chaos Jazz. This set is going to be giving you 30 anomaly proficiency. Pretty nice, pretty solid. I actually don't know the particular threshold or, particular number where she wants to hit. Jane Doe wants to hit 420 for 600 attack bonus. I'm not terribly sure if that's going to apply the same with Bernice. I don't know if she wants a specific AP or she just wants as much AP as possible. As a dot-oriented character, as a fire anomaly character, you definitely want to be going AP 6, Fire 5, AM 4, more than likely. So where does the 4-piece set go into that? Fire and electric damage is increased by 15%. Now, electric damage is very curious. Why isn't it just fire damage? Now, I'm assuming potential lighter as a character might be an electric anomaly character, by which this set would actually go into lighter as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't really read the actual leaks. I only see what I can see. Now, here's the kicker. Is the damage coming from the EX special, or is the damage being applied through the core, right? Because I assume the EX special holds the particular effect of the dot and or persisting fire anomaly. So I'm very curious if the set actually is supposedly worded how it's supposed to be worded, just because the EX special is different from the core passive. If it's just all encompassing within the effects of the EX, or excuse me, the special attack skill, then you should be fine with the skill. The extra damage is particularly nice, but I do want to introduce to you guys, of course, the Freedom Blues. The Freedom Blues goes in a slightly different direction. Instead of buffing fire damage, you're actually buffing attribute anomaly buildup by thus shredding the attribute buildup resistance of your opponents. Now, 35% is nothing to scoff at, and for 8 seconds, if you're able to reapply your dot consistently, you should be able to apply this 4-piece bonus very, very easily. To by which, I'm very curious to see if Freedom Blues actually becomes just an overall better set for Bernice, just because she's able to build up to those anomalies faster. So that's yet to be seen and yet to be tested, because Bernice is going to be our very first fire dot character. So if you hear anybody talking about, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be the set, no, for sure, don't listen to them just yet, just because even though, sure, they might have leaked information always changes all the time. In particular with these two characters, I know they're going to be tweaked before their rreleases. Third, I did want to talk about Red Mockas. Red Mockas is coming to us as a very funny looking Bang Boo. He wields a single wheelie cart hamster ball wheel thing. Looks incredibly cute, by the way. All Bang Boos do, honestly, and this one isn't shy of its own charm. But I'm not necessarily sure about the extra effects of this character when it comes to the Bang Boos, in particular with faction-specific Bang Boos. You have the Victoria Housekeeping, which gives you extra energy regen, and then you have the Pubsec Boo, which just flat out just gives you more damage and allows you to apply like one extra skill of the Pubsec Boo, which is basically just more slashes and more attacks, or just literally more damage out the Bang Boo. So if you want to highly invest into the Bang Boo, you're going to get actually quite a bit of damage. Like, these Bang Boos can output a lot more damage than you guys think, surprisingly. And it happens so just infrequently that you don't necessarily realize it. You can't always rely on Bang Boo damage, but they actually do contribute a lot to your character and to your overall team damage. Here's the fourth piece of information coming at you guys with this new particular numbered of courses. What is it called? The tactical courses. This is going to be a new, I believe, limited event. I don't believe this is going to be a staple event. This is going to be a limited event. However, aside from just doing the event, there's actually a secret functionality of this particular event that allows you to actually put in your characters into expeditions of sorts, and you're able to earn EXP points for the character. Is that you can raise characters, like, let's say, if you guys have played Pokemon, you put them into the daycare center and they gain EXP points. This is going to be really, really good, especially for characters that you don't necessarily pay too much attention to. I think they realize that a lot of pitfalls where it comes to farming, where it comes to resource allocation, we don't get a lot of Denny's. We don't get a lot of opportunities for W engine chips. We don't get a lot of character EX chips. So this event is going to help out immensely. And lastly, the Bazaar Brigade. I know this is not actually combat oriented, but this is really, really near and dear to my heart because I love arcade games. And this particular arcade game, Bazaar Brigade, is actually mimicked straight out of another retro game called the Vampire Survivors. Now, you guys are going to, just a show right here. Basically, you just walk around and try to beat up these little ghost minion guys, and you can walk around, get extra buffs, being able to defeat opponents and just survive within this particular map. It is going to be a very replayable mini game for you guys, and I'm definitely going to be playing it. It is incredibly fun. I love these types of survivor vampire games. It's very flash game oriented, and a lot of flash games have utilized this survival style. I just absolutely love the game genre, and the Brigade is going to be by far one of my favorite arcade games. I'm so glad they're bringing that type of game niche genre into the arcade. I'm very, very excited. And with that, hopefully you guys got a lot of great information about the characters, about the drive discs, about the particular events, and of course the new arcade mode, which I'm definitely going to be playing. But let me know down below what your guys' thoughts about the characters, what your thoughts about the 1.2 special program, and thus the new update. We are going to be covering even more with this channel, so make sure you guys subscribe down below, and our next video is going to be the first impressions video for Caesar King, so you can't miss that video. It's September 17th. Make sure you guys click the notification button to be notified when that video goes live. And again, make sure you comment down below so that you guys can enter into our little community internet giveaway. Next, you'll need to click on this video because YouTube thinks you'll like it. And that'll wrap us up for the version 1.2 special program review. Thanks so much for joining us. It's your boy Josh. See you in the next one.